Are you getting ready to move your toddler from their crib into a big kid bed? It's such an exciting milestone, isn't it? But if you're being honest, there's probably a little voice in the back of your head whispering, is this about to completely destroy our sleep? And for a lot of families, it does, but it absolutely doesn't have to. Hi, I'm Sarah. I'm not a doctor. I'm a mom on a mission to read all the parenting books and studies so you don't have to. In this video, I'm going to show you the 4 simple must-have items that will help you and your toddler sail through this transition without losing a wink of sleep. All right, so let's get right into that first must-have item. I want you to ask yourself a question. When you picture moving your toddlers from their crib to a bed, what's the first practical change you plan to make? For almost all of us, the answer is swapping out their sleeping bag for a proper duvet and blankets, isn't it? It feels like such a logical next step, a real rite of passage. But I have to tell you, and I say this with so much care because I see it trip parents up all the time, this is often the single biggest mistake that leads to unnecessary night wakings. Before you do anything else, you need to understand why. And the why is something that happens almost silently, usually around 2 in the morning. Picture this. The house is quiet, you're deep asleep, and then you hear it, that small, sad voice from the monitor. You drag yourself out of bed, your feet hit the cold floor, and you walk into their room to find your little one sitting up, shivering. Their brand new duvet is pulled at the end of the bed, and they were too cold to go back to sleep. Sound familiar? The simple biological truth is, our toddlers are what sleep experts call active sleepers. They're like tiny, adorable cement mixers, tumbling and turning all night long. And in that process, they inevitably kick their blankets off. But here's the critical piece of information that most of us don't realize. Most children are simply not able to pull their own blankets back up independently until they're 3, sometimes even 4 years of age. They don't have the motor skills or the spatial awareness in a half-asleep state. So they get cold. And when they get cold, they wake up. And when they wake up, they call for you. And that is why the very first non-negotiable item for a successful bed transition is to not get rid of their sleeping bag. I want you to reframe what it is. It's not baby equipment. It's a wearable blanket. It moves with them, it stays on all night, and it guarantees they stay warm and cozy no matter how much they tumble. But here's where it gets even more important, and this is the part that touches my heart. That sleeping bag is more than just warmth. It's a wearable hug. For the last 1, 2, maybe 3 years of their life, being zipped into that familiar sack was one of the final, powerful cues that it was time for sleep. It's their lovey, their security object. In a world that just got bigger and a little scarier, with no more crib bars and the freedom to get out, that familiar feeling is an anchor. It provides profound psychological security and signals that even though the bed is new, the rules of sleep are the same. Now, I know what you're thinking, but Sarah, won't they trip if they try to get out of bed in a sleeping bag? It's a completely valid concern. And as a mom, safety is my absolute priority. And the solution is so simple and brilliant. Toddler sleeping bags with legs. They're incredible. They offer all the warmth and security of a traditional sleeping bag, but give them the freedom to walk around safely if they do get up. It is the perfect bridge. And just to make sure you feel completely prepared, let's talk about toe gradings for a moment. It's a simple system for choosing the right thickness. Think of it like this. A 1.0 togue is perfect for warmer rooms or summer nights. A 2.5 togue is your cozy, all-purpose go-to for the cooler seasons. And you might even see a 3.5 togue for really cold climates or drafty rooms. Having the right togue means you never have to worry if they're too hot or too cold. Of course, the other option is to keep their room at a perfectly regulated temperature all night long. But let's be honest, for most of us, that's just not realistic. This is a real-world solution that works. So, we've solved the problem of warmth, and we've given them that crucial feeling of security. But this new freedom of a big bed often brings with it a brand new, very primal fear, a fear of the dark, and that fear is real to them, isn't it? Around age 2 or 3, a child's imagination just explodes, but their brain can't yet distinguish fantasy from reality. That pile of clothes in the corner really is a monster to them. Now, to fight this, I'm going to suggest a tool that I almost never recommend. In fact, I usually tell parents to avoid it. But for this specific transition, it can be a game changer if you follow one crucial rule. I'm talking about a nightlight. The reason I'm so cautious is that most nightlights emit blue or white light. You have to think of this like a green traffic light for your child's brain. It screams, "Wake up!" and it actively suppresses melatonin, the key hormone they need to fall asleep and stay asleep. It's often making things worse. So, the crucial rule is non-negotiable. The light must be a dim red light. Scientific research is very clear on this. Red is the one color that is least likely to shift their internal clock or disrupt melatonin. If blue light is a green go signal, a dim red light is like a gentle flashing yellow. It provides just enough comfort to keep the imaginary monsters away without telling their brain it's time to start the day. So, the room is warm, they're cozy in their wearable blanket, the imaginary monsters are gone. You've done everything right. And yet, you still hear it, don't you? That little pitter-patter of feet on the floor. Or maybe the dreaded call, "Mommy!" that slices through the pre-dawn silence at 4:30 in the morning. Your heart sinks. You thought the bed transition was the hard part. But this chronic early waking feels like a special kind of torture. Here's the thing you have to understand. Your toddler isn't trying to ruin your life. The problem is, they are in a bed, they are warm, they are not scared, but they have absolutely no concept of time. To them, 4 a.m. feels exactly the same as 7 a.m. They wake up and they think, "Great, the day has begun. Where is everyone?" This is where we bring in our third and arguably most important tool. I call it the ultimate weapon against the 4 a.m. wake-up call. It's a wake-up cue, most often in the form of a toddler sleep training clock. Now, these are simple devices. They glow one color when it's time to sleep and change to another color when it's okay to get out of bed. Think of it as a visual traffic light for sleep. Red means stay in bed, green means it's time to go and start the day. This simple visual cue is the language your toddler understands. It replaces the abstract concept of morning with a concrete rule. But just buying the clock isn't enough. The magic is in the implementation, and I'm going to give you my 4-step foolproof method. Please follow these steps exactly. First, you have to teach the clock. Don't just put it in their room and expect them to get it. During the day, play with it. Make it a game. Say, "Look, when the clock is red, we have to be quiet like a mouse. When it turns green, roar, it's morning time." Make it fun and clear. Second, and this is the golden rule, this is where most people fail. For the first night, you must set the wake-up time to their current wake-up time. Yes, you read that right. If they are waking up at 4:45 a.m., you set that green light to come on at 4:45 a.m. We are not trying to get more sleep on night 1. We are going for an immediate, guaranteed win. We need them to experience waking up, seeing the red light, and then seeing it turn green. We need them to connect the cause and effect. That first success is everything. Third, you must reinforce it. If and when they get out of bed while the light is still red, you have to be a calm, boring robot. You walk in with as little light and fuss as possible, and you point to the clock. You say calmly and quietly, "I see you're awake, but the clock is still red." Red means we stay in our bed and rest our bodies. Then you lead them back to bed. No snuggles, no long conversations. You are a broken record. The goal is to make waking you up incredibly unrewarding. Fourth, the gradual shift. Once they have successfully waited for the green light for 2 or 3 days in a row, you can start moving the time. And I mean moving it by only 5 or 10 minutes. Go from 4:45 to 4:55. Hold it there for a few days until it's the new normal. Then move it to 5:05. It's a slow and steady process, but it works. I know this because my own son, who is a master of testing boundaries, uses this clock every single morning. We went from chaotic, unpredictable wake-ups to him now happily playing in his room until he sees that green light. Sometimes I'll even hear him whisper to his stuffed animals, "Not yet, the light is still red." It's proof that this system gives them a sense of control and understanding. But what do you do when they resist? What if they cry and have a tantrum when you lead them back to bed? This is the test. You have to hold the line, but with empathy. You can kneel down and say, "I know it's hard to wait. It's okay to feel frustrated. I'll sit with you for a minute while we wait for the green light together." You are validating their feelings without giving in on the rule. You are the calm, loving anchor in their sea of frustration. And one final question people ask, but what if they just can't sleep any later? If you're aiming for a 7 a.m. wake up, but they're still going to bed at 7 p.m., their sleep needs might just be met. You may need to slowly push bedtime later by 15 or 30 minutes to accommodate that later morning. All right, so with warmth, fear, and timing handled, you've built a pretty amazing sleep fortress. But every fortress has a vulnerability, and for our little ones, it's the world outside their bedroom door. That early morning garbage truck, the neighbor's dog that barks at everything, or even just an older sibling having a laugh down the hall. These sharp sounds can slice right through sleep. This brings us to our fourth and final must-have, a white noise machine. Think of it as a blanket of sound. It doesn't eliminate noise, but it creates a consistent, gentle audio environment that makes those sudden, jarring sounds much less likely to startle them awake. Now, I know what some of you are thinking, because I thought it too, but is it safe for their hearing? It's such a valid concern, and the research gives us a really clear answer. A study by a team led by a researcher named Hugh found that they are safe, but only if you follow 2 simple rules. 1, never turn the volume up to the maximum. And 2, place the machine at least 6.5 feet, or about 2 meters, away from your child's head. And a little advanced tip for you. If the shh of white noise isn't quite right, you can explore pink noise, which sounds more like a steady rainfall, or even brown noise, a deeper rumble like a distant waterfall. It's worth seeing what your child finds most calming. It's your final shield against a noisy world. So there you have it, 4 shields that form your complete sleep transition system. You have the wearable blanket for warmth and security, the dim red light for comfort, the wake-up clock for boundaries, and a sound shield for peace. Together, this is your toolkit for making the move to a big kid bed an exciting and positive milestone, not the sleep-depriving nightmare so many of us are led to fear. With this system, you are prepared. And one final piece of advice from me to you, if your toddler is already in the habit of waking up too early, it's a really good idea to tackle that problem before you make the switch. Use that clock method we talked about to get that sorted first, and you'll have a much smoother transition. Remember to be patient. Every child is on their own timeline, but you're giving them and yourself the best possible chance for success. If this video gave you a clear plan and a little bit of hope, I would be so grateful if you'd hit that like button and subscribe. I'm always digging into the research to bring you practical guides just like this, and you don't want to miss what's next. And frankly, parenting advice can be a battlefield of opinions. My mission is to stick to the evidence, and that can sometimes be controversial. So make sure you're subscribed, because you never know when a video might have to come down.